Well, 7 largely unknown San Diegans have been quietly remapping the political landscape of the city, and in the process, they will carve out a new 9th city council district. All of this is called redistricting, and its history in this city is certainly filled with controversy. KUSI's Steve Bosch has our special report tonight. Steve.
Ross, 20 years ago, the city council gerrymandered a district so Bob Filner didn't have to change his residence. And a fight over the boundary in District 5 actually led to the recall of a council member. Then 10 years later, City Heights was split up into 3 council districts. But this time around, we have what is supposed to be an independent, nonpartisan commission. But is it truly independent and nonpartisan? The commission's bylaws require that the 7 appointees be individuals with a demonstrated capacity to serve with impartiality in a nonpartisan role. Now that means they are to be individuals who are not influenced by a political party. This requirement, however, has raised questions about the political activities of commission members Teresa Quiros, Carlos Marquez, and the Chief of Staff, Midori Wong. Political consultant John Dadian, who has worked for both Republicans and Democrats and also has experience in the redistricting process, says where there is smoke, there is fire.
Clearly, some of these commissioners, if you look at their backgrounds, they do have a very biased background, and it does look like it is slanted towards the left side, towards the labor side, and that is certainly a legitimate concern, I believe.
Teresa Quiros is a vice president of Empower San Diego, a union-backed group that recruited and endorsed 7 individuals for the Redistricting Commission. Now, 2 of those on Empower San Diego's slate of candidates were appointed to the commission, Quiros herself and Carlos Marquez, a former labor representative, candidate for the County Democratic Party Central Committee, and current Community Affairs Director for the LGBT Community Center.
Empower San Diego is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. As such, it is not only nonpartisan, but it cannot endorse candidates. It cannot do anything with elections in terms of endorsing and running candidates.
Sounds like a contradiction here, but technically it's not.
That is not elected office. That is an appointed office, so that is separate from running for office. Empower was there to try and increase the number of applicants, increase the quality of applicants, and the applicants that we supported were applicants that we thought would be fair and transparent and open to a community-oriented process.
All appointees submitted applications to a panel of judges who based their choices on the geographic, social, and ethnic diversity of the applicants and their degree of competency to carry out their duties, including their activism in community affairs. The application did not require details on their political activity or their ties to political parties.
The concern that I have is these retired judges aren't familiar with the political process, and this is absolutely political process.
Basically, they acted on the scanty information submitted by the applicants. To John Dadian, that's not good enough. He sees the labor union's footprints all over this.
Labor took stock themselves, and they started mapping out a very strategic plan, and they've been extremely successful the past decade or so. They've gotten a majority on the city council that are favorable to their issues, and they saw this redistricting process as the exact same. They made the decision they needed to get involved early, and I think that you see the fruits of their labor are starting to come to fruition.
The county Republican Party chairman is equally concerned about the outcome of the political boundaries if the commissioners are not scrupulously nonpartisan. He's concerned about the potential influence of organized labor and Empower San Diego,
which is a very progressive, union-dominated organization created for the sole purpose of lobbying the Redistricting Commission. They vetted candidates, they endorsed 7 candidates, and they got 3 of those candidates on the commission.
The third would be 24-year-old Midori Wong, the commission's chief of staff, hired at a salary of $81,000. Wong's mother is a Democratic Assemblywoman from the 8th District in Davis. I asked Wong who recommended her for the job.
No one recommended me. I applied on my own.
She told me she has no ties to Empower San Diego or knowledge of Empower being engaged in partisan affairs. Wong does have ties to the New Leaders Council. This is a national organization that trains and supports the next generation of progressive political entrepreneurs. Commission Vice Chair Carlos Marquez is a director of the San Diego chapter, and so is Evan McLaughlin, the political director of the San Diego Imperial County's Labor Council.
I think one of the consistent themes that I've seen since being hired is that the commission is very committed to being impartial. And so you see that from everything from hiring decisions to how we spend and allocate our resources. So I think they hired me because I don't have any specific ties or past experience.
The commission recently began its outreach to the community as it looks to redraw San Diego's political map, which will include a new 9th council district. Whatever the commission decides will be with us for the next 10 years. Some believe we are starting off on the wrong foot.
You have certain individuals on there that by no standard of the imagination should be on there, and I don't think average San Diegans should stand for that, and those members of the commission should either resign or be removed.
Now, in fairness, Labor, of course, has every right to recruit and endorse commissioners. There is no crime here. On the other hand, there's nothing to support the requirement that any of the commissioners have demonstrated their capacity to serve with impartiality. Ross?
Impartial, that's a big word. Now, these people hold a lot of power. Is there any way to challenge any of these 7 commissioners on any of these issues?
No, there is not. There is no provision in the charter to remove them from office. However, the final redistricting plan that they adopt can be challenged through the referendum process. That means, of course, a signature drive and a vote of the people. Now, if that does happen and it's rejected, well, we just start this process all over again.
All right. Steve Bosch, thank you very much for that special report.